I was sitting on my couch on a random Tuesday, scrolling through Instagram when a single picture completely shattered a 10-year friendship. It was a story posted by my best friend, Labor. She was smiling at a baby shower, surrounded by a bunch of suburban wives, holding a pastel pink cupcake. The crazy part? Just 3 hours earlier, she had sent me a massive, frantic text message canceling our coffee date for the fourth time that month. She claimed she was absolutely drowning in responsibilities. Her husband needed her, and she barely had time to breathe. It clicked right then and there. She had time. She just didn't have time for me. If you had known Labor back in college, you honestly wouldn't even recognize the woman holding that cupcake. She used to be the brightest light in any room. She was driven, hilarious, communicative, and just incredibly easygoing. She was the kind of friend who made everyone around her feel energized. But all of that started evaporating the exact second she met the man who is now her husband. She had a baby right out of college, which is fine, but her husband used it as the perfect excuse to completely isolate her. He convinced her that her domestic labor was the absolute most important thing in the universe. Of course, he didn't actually value it, and he certainly didn't pay her for it. He just wanted a live-in maid, a secretary, a therapist, and a cook, all rolled into one submissive package. Watching her become a hollow shell of herself was agonizing. She went from having this magnetic self-esteem to having absolutely zero confidence. Her entire existence was reduced to serving this man. And the worst part? He treated her like a lesser being. I have literally sat at dinner tables and watched him yell at her over a wrong food order. I have watched him make cruel, humiliating jokes at her expense in front of a whole room of people. And she would just sit there, staring at her plate, forcing a fake smile so he wouldn't get mad. I tried to be there for her. I really did. But the friendship became a one-way street leading straight into a brick wall. The energy I was pouring into our relationship was just vanishing into a black hole. Whenever I actually needed her, whenever I had a bad day at work or a problem and just needed someone to listen, she was completely unavailable. I eventually realized I had stopped sending the first text because she always conveniently forgot to answer me. But whenever she wanted to cancel our plans, she would send these massive, unsolicited paragraphs justifying every single thing she was doing. It was exhausting. I was carrying around this totally unnecessary frustration every single week. So after I saw that baby shower photo, I made a choice. I didn't send a massive paragraph back. I didn't demand an explanation. I didn't even pick a fight. I just completely ghosted her. I knew that if I tried to talk to her about how much she was hurting me, she would just pull out her favorite catchphrase. She would look at me with those tired eyes and say, "I just have a really busy life." Absolutely nothing would have changed. So, for the sake of my own mental health and my own energy, I walked away. I realized I could not sit there and watch her gladly drown herself just to keep a mediocre man afloat. For 3 years, I didn't hear a word from her. I focused on my career, built an amazing life for myself, and protected my peace. I let the friendship die entirely. Then, 2 months ago, my phone lit up with a number I hadn't seen in years. It was Labor. She left a frantic crying voicemail. Shockingly, the controlling husband who treated her like garbage had finally decided he was bored. He had filed for divorce, locked her out of their joint bank accounts, and was actively trying to push her out of their house. She was completely financially dependent on him with a massive gap in her resume, exactly the way he had designed it. A few minutes after the voicemail, she texted me. She asked if we could meet up for coffee, or if she could even come crash at my place for a few weeks while she figured things out. She said she was completely alone and really needed her best friend. A younger version of me would have rushed to save her. I would have cleared my schedule, opened my doors, and tried to fix her broken life. But the woman I am now knows better. I sat on my couch, looking at that text message, thinking about the years of being ignored. I thought about the endless canceled plans, the utter lack of respect for my time, and how easily she discarded me to please a man who ultimately threw her away. I typed back a very short message. I said, "I am so sorry you're going through this, but I cannot offer you a place to stay right now. I just have a really busy life." It was exactly what she used to say to me, the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. My phone showed the little read receipt indicating she had seen the message. But she never replied. Honestly, I am just sick and tired of women who put a toxic man above everything else in their lives, including their own dignity and the friends who genuinely care about them. People who do that will always eventually end up alone. When you burn all your bridges to keep one man warm, you can't be surprised when you have nowhere to cross when the fire goes out. I feel terrible for the girl I knew in college, but I don't feel bad for the woman she actively chose to become. What do you guys think? Should I have let her stay with me because of our history, or was I completely right to protect my own peace and let her deal with the life she built? Let me know what you would have done in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Casterly Payback. See you in the next one.